Hello everyone, welcome back to MindVerse. This is your one and only host Teuta, and I'm ready to keep providing you with some great insights in the world of being organized. As you might remember, last time we spoke about building great and useful lists. In case you missed it, feel free to check it out. Happy to hear your thoughts. Today, we're moving to another topic which is part of the art of being organized. We will be discussing one of the most dynamic parts of the day, mornings. I will give you some tips and tricks on how to build great morning routines. Are you ready to do this? If so, get your favorite beverage and let's start the episode. Mornings are tough for everyone, especially if you're waking up to the sound of your alarm. Who wants to wake up from a good sleep? Or even if the sleep wasn't good, who wants to start the day after a bad sleep? But the day has to start somehow. And it would be much easier if you have an already built routine which would help you in the long run. Probably by now you are familiar with me and my love for statistics that are related to the episode. I enjoy doing that as it is a good reminder that a lot of people are going through the same thing and we aren't completely alone or isolated. For today, I found this great statistic from Thrive My Way. It says that 92% of high performance and successful people report having a morning routine. There are some examples too. Oprah begins her day calmly at 7 a.m. and walks her dogs. Jennifer Aniston wakes up at 4:30 a.m. and has a glass of lemon water. There are probably more that you also might have seen. I personally can't wake up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning even if I tried. But I've fallen asleep at that time when I used to work in my previous job. Let me tell you, it did not feel good to wake up with 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And that's why I decided to create a set of routines which helped me feel more productive. Most importantly, they made me feel that I had time for myself and wasn't connected with chores, tasks, or anything that would be a mundane thing to do. My advice is to evaluate your day. Start doing some categorization of the days that you want to build a routine in. We can start simple, like we know Mondays through Fridays are working days. That means they would be the busiest for you, unless you have another working schedule. That's why make a category of the days you are working with and connect it to that. The other days can be also busy too, but after you have those 5 days categorized, you're only left with 2 days, which should be put into another category. We have vacations too. Let's not forget about those days. Just because you're on vacation doesn't mean you have to forget about your routines. Now let's dissect all of these topics and prepare ourselves for a great morning. I'll start with morning routines for workdays. All of us have set an alarm in which we want to wake up and create enough time for the day. But how many of us hit the snooze button? Probably a lot. So the first advice is, don't do that. It's normal that it won't be a happy moment when the alarm rings, but you shouldn't forget that you put that time to wake up for a reason. Sticking to it is your first thing to do. Also, pick a nice sound. You don't want to wake up in a horror movie. My alarm rings around 7 a.m. and that way I have enough time to make breakfast, make myself some tea, and see if there's anything to do in the house. Now, I consider myself lucky as I work remotely and don't have commuting in my to-do list. Picking the time is essential. I remember in college I had a friend who would set the alarm in funny times. For example, she would wake up at 9:03 or 9:02. That was always funny to me as I used to put my time at 9 sharp, like a standard time. But that exact time worked for her and she would never miss it. Now, find a time that suits you and organize it that way. After you wake up, the next thing you do sets the tone to the day ahead. You can do anything that you see fit. I, of course, brush my teeth first and then make myself some breakfast. I already know what I'm going to eat that day, so I don't have to worry about it. After I'm done with breakfast, I wash the dishes and make myself a tea. During those 20 to 30 minutes, I choose to relax and either watch some TV or go over the news. I respond to people who have reached out to me. Sometimes I choose to ditch the electronics altogether and just stay in peace. See, not everything is in the schedule. For you, it can look different, but my recommendation is that you create a space which is clean and peaceful and obviously be well fed. Empty stomach is not a pretty feeling. These are some activities that you can do. You can drink a glass of water right after you wake up. You can do some yoga. There are like 5 minutes exercises specifically for this. If you're reading a book, read a page from it. You can do meditation too. It might help to start positively and slowly. These are just some recommendations that will help you to build a process. As always, my advice for you is to do it based on what you love doing most. And don't say sleeping, because these are all after you're done with it. Next, I'll go with the morning routines for days off. These days give us enough time to not rush into anything. I believe during this time there isn't any alarm, unless you have that as a standard waking up mechanism. What is very great about the human body is that it has its own mechanism. It has happened to me that on a Saturday and Sunday, I can't wake up later than 9:30 a.m. Why should we have a routine when you are on a day off, you say? It helps us manage our day better. Instead of waking up and starting the day chaotically, you will be creating a safe space for yourself. My morning routine always have a start with breakfast. What can I say? I love food. After that is completed, I either get a juice or tea. The dishes are always washed. Now, depending on the night before, I either read a book or go for a run. Since I want to be more active this period, my main focus has been to go for a run for like an hour or so. Don't get me wrong, I do not run for an hour. The timeline is an hour, and since I am in Lisbon, running uphill for an hour would be the end of me. After that, I have the full day ahead of me. I create a set of activities that I want to do, and since my morning was organized, I have plenty of energy to do everything. These are some activities that I can suggest for your days off. You can read a book or a magazine. You can have a fruit and rest. You can do one habit instead of your entire morning routine. You can catch up on a workout. And the most important one, you can lie on a sofa and think about anything in life. Whatever you choose, make sure to make it a habit and enjoy it. That's the main part of why they are successful. And lastly, I will talk about morning routines for vacation days. People take their vacation as a form of escape from the day-to-day busy schedule. Now, adding a routine to it might not sound as fun. Believe me, it is great to have a routine during your vacation too. It doesn't have to be a set of tasks you want to accomplish. But imagine you're traveling. If you don't have a routine, at the end of the day, you will feel like you lost that day completely. Everything depends on the vacation type you're taking. It can be for traveling. Sometimes it is just for the things you want to do that you can't do daily. And my favorite type of vacation, just to stay home and not do anything extraordinary. If I want to rest myself, I always take that type of vacation. Now, my morning routines are more or less with a similar setting. I have breakfast, that's a must, and if I'm on vacation, what I do is, after washing the dishes, I choose to explore nature. Sometimes I love just to listen to music in the morning and drink my favorite tea, mint. I make sure that things are planned ahead of time so my me time isn't being removed from the equation. I can give you some recommendations if you're out of ideas. You can do journaling. Lots of people practice it to get things out of their chest. Do some light stretches. You can practice meditation. You can remove all the electronic devices and have a peaceful time. You can drink your tea and coffee in peace. It all depends on you. What matters the most is that you make the decision and after that you keep practicing. As you know, practice makes better. We are at the end of our episode, which means it's a pretty good time for me to also hear your suggestions and see if you have some fun ideas for your mornings. Thank you for continuing this journey with me. Next, we will be exploring another part of the day, the nights. We'll be talking about building good night routines that will help you with your sleep. Stay with MindVerse. Feel free to share this podcast with friends, family, and anyone else in need of a little organizational inspiration. Remember, an organized life is a life filled with limitless possibilities. Until next time, stay organized, stay focused, and embrace the beauty of order.